So I'm doing this a little bit old school because I don't have my full craft room set up, but I wanted to show you one of the options I'm going to do and how important it is to keep your old or your, I shouldn't say old, but your past kits, the adhesive that comes with it, because these little strips came in handy. Because look at the way I was able to use this with the leaves and then just use regular glue dots. So by popping this up, it'll make a bigger statement. But before this goes down, make sure that you do the stamp, and I'll show you in a bit. All right, so I have gotten my stamping done. This will go on top, but do you see how I've positioned those stamps so they will be behind it? And then these little birds came from Habitat, oh, Heron Habitat, but you see how they are a little bit light? So if you don't have, this is a great Sharpie. The Sharpie Fine is great to have in your stash. I'm going to go ahead and fill those in, and then I'll show you the end product. All right, so I used the In the Moment stamp set, and as you can see, I used I usually have lots of designs, but this way I thought I would just show simple way, since my craft room's not all set up, if you were out camping or took it with you on a trip, using bare minimum. So I actually should go backwards because the one that I just did, this is actually Pretty Peacock is the base, and you can tell by popping it up, see how it kind of gives that 3D, which makes it just more interesting for that card. But so this is the Crushed Curry, and behind it is a Pretty Peacock. But do you see how I've popped these out, these pieces? So I'll use them in a later set. But do you see how with her, she looks like she is behind the flower bed? So what I did was I took the flowers, took my stencil, and literally laid it over. See how I made a set and made it over this, so this became my masking, so that when I stamped her, it looked like she was behind the flower bed. So anyhow, just to kind of give, and of course I just love the extra touch with the extra birds, putting those together. So this one, of course, a little bit deeper. I set it down a little bit farther. I haven't decided if I want to color it yet. I just think it looks good with the silhouette. I may do a little bit with her hat, but just wanted to show you this and kind of do it piecemeal since I have to hold the camera. So thanks so much. Just hold on. I'll go to my next design. So I wanted to kind of point out Stampin' Up! Has the blender pins. Does that come in? There it goes, a little bit blurry, sorry. The blender pin. So when you get these spots, this, because I don't have all my stuff unpacked, this is Daffodil Delight. Obviously not the same as this, but do you see how I've taken a little bit of that on her hat? Not totally covered it in, just a little bit. So by using this, this will allow me to do a little bit of the color, and then I just want to highlight part of her hat, not going over the black, obviously, because I don't want it to bleed, but just to give it enough color, just so it has a little bit of emphasis. And then basically this, you just wash this with your I use my chamois, but just wanted to show the nice effects of using the blender pen as well as the ink spots. All right, so I wanted to go through and give a little bit of a tip because this will be my inside piece. This sentiment is from March pumpkin, and so I've gotten my pretty peacock as my vertical strip, and then I cut this piece off and separated it out with the piece that came from the insert. And then see the pretty, if you miss the elements, these little clears are really neat. And then I needed a little bit more dimension, so you see how I scored the little corner there? So just something, because when I put it on, and I'm doing it on a portrait, will be the set. So I'll put it just like that, and I'll show you in a bit. But it's going to be simple, and I'll be right back. All right, so I wanted to use up this negative piece that was left after I cut out my circle from this. So this was cut out or popped out, die cut, and left this negative. So this is Heron Habitat. I really love this set. I believe it's still in the catalog, but it made I didn't have any of these colors from they're packed. So night of navy I have. So rather than using the base that came with it that just seemed to kind of clash, I went ahead and just used the night of navy as my base. So now it kind of blends. And then I wanted to give a hint or tip. So with ribbon, this is the Terran tape, which will adhere to the ribbon much better than doing glue, green glue, or dots, or even dimensional. So just kind of FYI. But I have to kind of put a little bit, since I stamped him behind the circle, put kind of this ribbon to kind of break that up. And then the pieces that came in the kit are a little bit more off-white. You can tell from the basic white and then the ones in the kit. So to try not put it next to it, kind of offset. So once I get this angled, I'll post it. So I'll be back. So normally I cut up the envelopes because the DSP or pattern of it is quite beautiful. Because these are so beautiful as far as the inside and the outside, with the lotus flower and the lotus flowers, I just figured I would leave those intact and not chop them up like I normally do. But I want to show you 4 of the lotus flowers that I did as alternates. This one's probably my favorite. So I just took the negative and used the piece that I had popped out, that circle, covered it with these little punches, all my scraps, and then I didn't pop this up, it's just glued on top. So you can kind of see the petals below it, and then I have the little water dot spots and such. And then I like making my polymers kind of dance, so that was one of them. This one I just used the vellum on the top and bottom, and then used the pieces of the pops that I did, and popped up the lotus flower on that. This one was hodgepodge. I don't know if it's my favorite. I've messed with it. I've tried to use scrap pieces, so it's okay. It's just not a favorite. But definitely, and it helped to emboss the back part of the one card. And then this one was, I kind of like the simplicity of it. So it uses the back of the card that came in the kit, and then the vellum, and then I did that across the top. And I didn't put any kind of water dots. I may still do that just to kind of give it a little bit of oomph. So anyhow, that is the end of my alternates. Let me show you the end, or the after end product. I showed you I angled up that that ribbon, and then because these are just off color, I actually double stacked this, because I thought, well, talk about a nice masculine card. So anyhow, that worked out wonderful, and using that Knight of Navy. So anyhow, I thought that getting the kit kind of late kind of put me off my game. Moving obviously puts off the game, and then having limited supply. So I thought it'd be nice just to give you a snapshot of being able to take the cards. They're still alternates, but just having the ability of being creative outside the box. And so pardon my kind of slapstick video on my phone, and I'll give a tour of the condensed version of my craft room after a while. All right, bye.